in the order kind of like we had planned for yesterday, and then at the last one, did you see I sent you that one from Lou and said let
No.
yes, it there should be asterisks. It's towards the end, and it's said was it possible to play this at the end because he put out a video like at 1 a.m. and I ended up
Are you sure you hit send?
yes, ma'am, it's in there because I went back to edit it and put asterisks next to it. Uh,
In the DMs?
yes, ma'am.
I don't see it.
Hold on a second. Do, do, do,
I
do.
see from Nick Sortor.
Uh,
Oh, there it is. There
right.
it is. No asterisks, but yes, there it is.
There should be three asterisks in the front and three in the back.
Nope. All the three did was turn it into italicized. This is not
Oh, really?
Word.
Oh, that's
Yeah, when
right.
you do the dots, it
Oh,
italicizes it.
I forgot all about that. I haven't used that in forever and a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah. There's that.
Okay.
So
So I thought he did a rather good job. He kind of goes off a little bit, but since he is a native New Yorker and he talks a little bit about why he left, you know what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
what it means. I thought perhaps we could play if we have time. We could play it at the end.
Yeah. And I will squeeze in the other videos as we go. And by the way, we're live. Hi folks.
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Sorry, last minute adjustments.
Yeah,
Whoops. Hi folks. How are
yeah.
you?
Good morning. Today is Monday, November the 3rd, 2025, a little bit after 10 a.m. We're making some final adjustments in hopes that we could possibly save New York City by defeating Zofran or Zovran Mondami. I call him Zofran because he makes,
Gag pill.
yeah. And, oh no, Jingle. Now I'm distracted because I just told Crazy B that we've just gone from Halloween to Christmas with Elmo and they're singing already and I almost started singing. If I break out into Sesame Street, I apologize. Okay, and here we go with the third co-host now playing his music on his walker. So I cannot guarantee on my end what's going to happen, but whatever happens happens. And jingle
I
bells,
love his little
jingle
musical
bells,
background to us.
Mondami smells. Yes,
I love that one.
yes. And we're gonna start crying. Come here. Here's your bubble.
Of course.
Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Move, Che. Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh my! I need help, people. I need help.
Uh,
Anyway,
little guy's the comedy relief.
yes, he is. But Crazy B, why don't you mention what we did yesterday while I get him situated with his bottle? Uh,
Okay, sounds like a plan. So yesterday we put out a almost 2 hour video, just kind of with some more hitting home what is wrong with Mamdani and why this isn't going to work. And we're just going to keep drilling it, and then we're going to drill it again today, and then Wednesday when he's more than likely elected, I'm going to knock on wood that that's all bullshit. He's not elected. We will go through and start keeping tabs on all the shit he fucks up.
yep. And
All the shit.
and
And I
we
mean, we found some stuff about his past.
and not only that, but if he does win, we're calling out a New York City person every single day. We're going to go through the phone book, and we don't care what you voted or you didn't. We're calling your names every day.
That might be considered doxing and might get us in trouble.
Okay, so we'll just start with citizen number one of New York City. You're an idiot. Citizen number two, you're a moron. And just whatever. We won't say names. We'll just go by citizen one, two, and three. We'll just give them a number.
And we need to know how many legal citizens are of voting age.
Uh-huh. You know,
Oh, you know what? When we get the final poll number, when we
yep,
get the final vote count, we'll know exactly how many to go through.
yep, yep. And how many people are
Good
illegal?
morning, Blue Rose.
Hey, Blue. In our and of course we had to poop our pants. And you know what? This is
Of
appropriate.
course.
This is appropriate, New York City, because you're gonna get shit on. Yeah, go ahead. Legit. You're the
New
gonna.
York is going to be one giant shitty diaper in
Yep.
the very near future. And I'm not talking the typical shitty diaper, the diarrhea charcoal pill induced
Yes.
diapers.
If you thought that San Francisco was bad with a map, yeah, just wait to see what the hell New York is going to happen to New York. I mean,
It's not pretty.
it is ugly for anybody that votes for him. We want you to get a ticket, fly somewhere to another country such as North Korea, China, Iran, Iraq, anywhere in the Middle East. Where else, Crazy B, do we want to send them? Venezuela.
Oh, God.
Uh,
Anywhere that's a socialist nightmare,
yes,
we will send you.
because
Not to the inner city China, but the rural China, where
yes,
they tell you how much you can grow for food and you don't get to make money off of your farming.
right.
And if you don't cooperate, hell, we can just revisit Mao's revolution. We can do a documentary revisit
That would
for
be
the
good.
people who need to know.
Yep. I mean, we've been talking about New York for months now, and the fact that he is in the lead is, what are you doing, huh? I love you. The fact that he is the front runner, which I saw a video yesterday with Cuomo thinking that people are really going to come out and vote for him, but I don't know. He has such baggage attached to him that I don't know. I mean,
I don't see it going well.
no.
Cuomo, he
He,
botched. He dropped the ball for COVID.
yes,
Sliwa is a definite New Yorker, but I don't think he's got the backing.
I don't either, and I think he is. I don't think he has or has submitted good policy. I mean, the talks that I've heard was all about crime fighting, really. How I'm going to protect the subways and we'll beautify them.
Uh huh.
So the neighbors and that are all going to just come out to clean them up. Okay, right. Uh, so I don't think he has any pull. It's going to be very interesting. I watched some videos last night of New Yorkers saying that the reasons why they want Zofran, and it is just truly, truly eye opening that they have no clue what they're voting for. None whatsoever. It's extremely disturbing that they not only believe him, but they also feel entitled to get these free services. They can
Well, and we talked briefly about that entitlement thing the other day.
on
And
Friday,
again,
right?
when your life, you bust your ass working, you're constantly working,
Crazy
you're
B,
getting a
crazy
paycheck,
B,
you're
crazy B. Turn your mic back just a little.
okay. And so you're busting your ass working. You're bringing home a paycheck that you're barely able to get by with. It leads to that entitlement.
Yes.
I've been busting my ass. I deserve this,
Yep.
and then it's like, it's really leads to a major despondence. And you don't feel very fulfilled in life. And when you get everything handed to you from the government, it's not very fulfilling either.
Right.
We
Right.
got to find that balance in life where you can still survive on your paycheck, but also
Right.
still find happiness in it
Correct.
and not feeling the need to free entitlements.
Right. And I mean, for example, he's talking about having, the rent frozen. And, if you don't think landlords are going to pull out, you're crazy because they're not going to be able
Yeah.
to, do the upkeep. And, like if you say, oh, my refrigerator's broke, well, perhaps instead of him getting you a new one or a nicer one, you're going to get that crappy one from, wherever. Uh, so, look at the subway system now with the hundreds of millions of dollars that are pumped into that and how crappy it is. And he wants to give the crap stuff away for free. How is that going to work exactly?
When it's free, people do not respect it.
Right. I mean, well, there's no respect now either when they pay for it because look at how many people jump the turnstiles. That was one of Sliwa's biggest things too. Is we're going to enforce people, paying at the turnstile. Now, while I don't disagree with that, that really isn't like the biggest platform to be running on. Uh, I mean, they're in for. I And again, I'm going to go back and say, out of everybody that's in the state of New York, they are the best three candidates that they have, really. Or
Yeah, it
because
sucks.
they couldn't put somebody better up against uh, Zofran.
Nope.
I mean,
And I think Mayor Adams was pushed out not by choice. They were told, you're going to step aside and let this guy win. I
yeah,
think it's one of those predetermined elections.
but then he came back though too, right? He left and he came back, right?
No,
I thought he did.
he.
I thought he left and then I thought he came back and then dropped. I don't recall. Don't ignore me.
I just remember he dropped out.
Yeah,
And I think it was like, they're really pushing for this socialist bullshit in America. And
yeah,
this is the only way they're going to be able to do it is by basically leaving him the only option.
right. And I saw AOC with them. My girl needs to lose some weight if she's going to go back to dancing and being a bartender. That's all I'm saying. What do you have to say? Mm, there you go. Never mind. He decided that the letters of the alphabet were more important. Gee, go New York. Huh? H.
Yeah, it is a bloody mess what
Yeah.
we're going to see in New York.
Yeah, we're afraid. We're very afraid for you people. Uh, and I think the biggest issue I have with that is that we're going to see the downfall of New York, and I think the disease will just continue to spread.
Unfortunately, because
Uh-huh.
New York didn't do it right. We got to try it again.
Right. Uh huh.
Yeah, New York didn't do it right. Like
So,
China didn't do it right, and
right,
North Korea didn't do it right,
right,
and Russia didn't do it right.
right.
Yeah, those
All
things.
those people. So we talked about maybe since we already had a North and South war. I don't want to see a war, but I'm thinking, what if we split the country right down the middle, build a huge wall with, port. I was going to say ports of entry, but no, we should probably just have a solid wall with one way to get in or whatever. And the,
They did that with Germany, and it didn't go well.
I know that, but perhaps those people then would recognize why the wall needed to come down, right?
Yeah,
And they need to live that rough life in order to, uh, just a minute, in order to recognize the value of what they lost. But that could then become a generational kind of thing too. Uh, but
yeah,
this way, everybody would have oceans, everybody would have rivers, growing capabilities. Uh, but I don't know what a reasonable, you know, perhaps we could set the Indians out on foot again to determine the boundary lines. I don't know.
Or we take the extremist of each side, give them a state, and say, you have at it, and see how it goes.
Yeah, that. Yeah, you're really hep on doing that Mad Max thing. Yeah, build the wall
Well,
around
they
them.
don't have to fight.
You're
Just
right.
give
Yeah,
California to the 1% of jackasses that want everything free.
right,
And then for the idiots that want complete anarchy, no government whatsoever, we can put them in, I don't know, where's another shitty state? Nevada, like, oh, they can take Nevada because the
no.
only thing
Let them
Nevada
take.
has is Las Vegas, and it's
What
going to
about
shit.
right? What about let them have Illinois? You don't need to take none of that. How about Illinois?
Illinois, yeah,
Yeah.
they can have Illinois. There we go.
Okay.
And for the rest of the states that want sane people, we'll take over and keep things going as it's supposed to.
Right. Yep. I don't
And
disagree.
the radicals can go in their areas.
Yeah.
And I do not see anything wrong with taking one or two islands from Hawaii and turning them into prisons.
There you go. That'll work.
That's why he's bringing back Alcatraz. Yeah,
There you.
Alcatraz is just a. Danny brought up bringing back Alcatraz. That's just a talking point. It ain't ever going to happen, and it's not going to be operational anytime soon because it costs too much fucking money to rebuild it and upkeep it.
Right. Well, they could go back to using all the tents that they were gonna use, but
Uh huh.
all right, well, let's get this show on the road, everybody. Welcome to Rex Sisters. Today is a special edition of Stop Zofran Mondami, Save New York. As Crazy Bee mentioned, we did a pre record that if you want to listen to his early life and his political views, at one point he was a supposed hip hop artist. You will see some statements made by his mother saying he is not an American from a 2013 interview that she did, and that he is more Indian uh, than anything.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what you guys are going to buy, but we'll see. Crazy B, you want to add anything before you start the first video?
Um, just that, you know, it's thank God we did this split up the way we did. Otherwise, we would have had like a 6 hour video.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, this guy is a wreck waiting to happen.
And this is
He
just,
is the
yeah,
case of the liberal white woman in her middle ages that works at the food banks and wants to fix everybody's problems because she has nothing else going on in her life.
that's pretty much what he did. Oh, and the other big thing that we failed to mention is he is a, ready, racist.
Oh, yes, very
He
anti
is,
white.
he is a racist through and through. And
No
predominantly,
reason to.
right, predominantly against the white race. Numerous
Yep.
statements made against whites.
I know I was joking yesterday about having to go out and tan more, despite it's going to make my skin itch, just so people will leave me the hell alone.
Uh huh. Yep.
Because I can get really dark, but it's not okay.
Right.
It's not fair. Oh,
Oh, everybody
all
knows.
right.
Now here's Jekyll and Hyde coming in, which they're never here in the morning. Oh my lord, help us. Here we
It's all right. This is life. You guys, if you're lucky, I didn't have a camera on because I would have turned it as Danny was trying to put his shoe on and he fell over sideways on top of his bed like a statue. Just poof, flopped over
ah,
because it's silly. She's got the cats and the kid, and yeah, they interject.
yeah,
So,
yep. As you know, this is a family oriented show. We try to keep it as much as possible, but real life gets in the way, and it is what it is.
that is so true. Real
So
life does get in the way. and that's just part of life. So,
Uh-huh. So yeah, I have a bottle in one hand and my fingers being held on the other hand. So my hands are crossed. So,
yep.
all right, Crazy B, go ahead and hit it.
What we got up first is we're going to go ahead and get through the liberal hive mind video, and then because he has some good takes on this, and then we're going to get into some more of the dumbassery
Okay.
that this person has been doing. And there's two other videos that I will try to intersperse,
Okay.
and they're not very long. So,
Sounds good.
alrighty, we are starting with this one. All right, let's hit play.
All right, folks, so I think the mask is starting to slip here. We got Kathy Hochul hitting us with this.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure
Okay.
you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about outmigration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
So she's basically saying the quiet part out loud. There's no money for Mamdani's little socialist spending spree, and she's not willing to hike taxes on the rich to fund it, which of course, by the way, is exactly what Mamdani wants.
Freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants does not require money from the city. It is a determination made that landlords cannot increase the rent for those about 1 million apartments. That's something the city has done before. Making buses free costs around $700 million. Providing universal childcare costs about $6 billion. These are significant amounts of money. They have to be understood in the context of a $116 billion city budget, a state budget of more than $252 billion. The money that we would raise to fund this agenda is in two parts. The first is by increasing the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey. That would raise $5 billion. This would only impact the most profitable corporations, ones that are making millions of dollars in profit.
The ones that will be fleeing in a heartbeat.
Yes, ma'am.
Does he not realize these people, these corporations will leave?
And they're not going to come back. We've already seen
No.
we've already seen the destruction with the looting, the rioting that has occurred, and the many businesses that have left the city. Now, one big thing, I'm not sure if we mentioned this previously, I do recall seeing it in some videos, and that is many buildings that are apartments, the bottom floor is usually rented to a business, say a Starbucks, maybe a, drugstore or something,
Yeah.
Dollars.
or at the time, clothing stores, things of that nature, like
Uh-huh.
a Navy or something. With those people, with those businesses leaving, right, that rent that those businesses pay to the landlord, that money still has to be paid. That building owner still owns a mortgage. So, with that business and that property not being able to be rented out, they pass the cost of that unused space onto their tenants. The average apartment now in New York City is going for $4,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about this, 4 times 12 is what, 48.
Uh-huh.
Just oh, we we don't even
Who's
know
going to be able to afford it?
who makes that kind of money to pay that kind of rent.
Not me. No business is going to want to pay that much.
Exactly.
It doesn't go well.
Nope. Oh, all right. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to address Blue Rose sent a thing, I pinned it. It says Kathy Hochul said, I'm going to endorse him, but what happens after is it my fault?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Uh huh. I don't.
How can you be that stupid to say I'm going to endorse him, but what he does is not it doesn't fall back on me.
Well, because he needs
Oh
her.
my god.
Yeah, he needs her to put through some of what his efforts are, right? And she's not going to
Mhm.
give it to him. So he's going to be in for a big shock when she's not going to give him the money that he thinks he's going to get, unless she is.
Yeah.
That's going to be the question: is she or isn't she? So Hochul, whatever. I don't. I think, and we really didn't talk about her, but regardless of what she does, if she gives in to him or she doesn't give in to him, no matter what happens, she's directly responsible as much as he is for the demise
Yes,
of
she
the city.
is.
She's just as culpable.
This is what we call a social experiment done in the real world on mass scale.
Yes, absolutely. Hmm.
And it's going to go badly. So, all right, let's hit play and hear what else is going on because this dude's an idiot.
Providing universal childcare costs about $6 billion. These are significant amounts of money. They have to be understood in the context of a $116 billion city budget, a state budget of more than $252 billion. The money that we would raise to fund this agenda is in two parts. The first is by increasing the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey. That would raise $5 billion. This would only impact the most profitable corporations, ones that are making millions of dollars in profits. The second is to increase.
And I'm sorry.
Please.
You're sure they're not going to leave it. Y esas compañías no se van a ir de Nueva York. They're not going to leave New York.
So the way that this tax works is it applies to any business doing business here. They could be located in Miami, but if they're doing business in New York, it applies to them. And the reason I believe everyone will keep doing business here is our economy is so large that if it was a country, it would rival the top countries in the world.
Stop
The
there for
second
a second,
is
Crazy
personal income
B.
taxes. I think that the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year should pay 2% more in personal income taxes. That would raise $4 billion. These are the two major revenue points. But as you've also said, I want to make sure that every dollar we have today is also a dollar that we are spending in the fullest way possible. And what I mean by that is today I'll look at our Department of Education. It's the agency where we spend the most amount of money of any department in City Hall. And what we find is that we're spending $10 billion a year on contracts. There is money that can be saved in the way in which we spend on those contracts, the way in which we procure those contracts, the standardization or lack thereof. We have to make sure, as you said, that every dollar is going to the benefit of the classroom, the kids in the classroom, the teachers who are teaching them.
New Jersey, by the way, has some of the highest taxes in the union. It's the least competitive state in terms of taxation, and he's now openly saying he wants to do it exactly like they're doing it. He wants to increase taxes on rich people, and he even wants to tax out-of-state companies who are engaging in business in New York City. Kind of like one of those, digital taxes that we see on big tech companies operating in foreign countries. He wants to extort anybody doing business in New York City. And look, I know, as per usual with these slickster socialists, when he delivers the message, it sounds good, right? It sounds, oh, yes, of course. It's only $5 billion. Just increase the tax by 1% on those evil billionaires and everything's going to work out great. Except that's not the way that it works. When you have tax upon tax upon tax, everything going up, you have an increased burden on the most productive job creators in your city. What's inevitably going to happen is people are going to flee. You're going to increase taxes thinking you're going to pull more in taxes, but so many successful rich people and successful companies are going to leave that you'll be worse off in the end. You'll have less productivity, less business startup, less entrepreneurship in your city.
So, what we've been saying, everything's going to go to shit.
Well, and I hope everybody caught what was said. Even businesses outside of the state will be paying if they do business in New York.
Yep.
So, again, do you think companies that are going to be taxed out of the ass are going to want to do business there? No.
Nope. It's getting kind of wild to think about, that this is their brilliant idea.
Right. Yep.
This is what makes sense to them. Let's keep going and listen to more of their stupidity.
In your city. We're talking about a slow decay. And then add that with Mamdani's views on crime, his views on law enforcement operations.
That was weird.
Yes, it was.
Can you hear me, Dee?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Was that my end or her end? Oh, can you hear me? Dee, can you hear me? Hello? Oh, shit. Let's give it a second. Everything was going so smooth. What happened? I hope you guys can hear me. I'm not sure. Hello? Okay, you can hear me. Interesting. Alrighty. D cut out, but it glitched before that. Okay, I don't know what is going on with EvMonks. Yesterday it kind of kicked me for a minute too. Um, uh, not sure what's going on. Um, huh. This is weird. And I don't know where Dee's at. She might have had to have dealt with something, or I don't know. I'll give it a few more minutes and then send a message. Oh. Okay, now the text message. Huh. Why does I'm trying to figure out why FMUX does this glitching thing. Hey,
Okay.
can you hear
Yeah,
me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, Blue Rose was saying that there was some kind of glitch right before you cut out.
I have no clue.
Like FMUX did this little glitch thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it even paused the video. Sometimes when one of us gets booted, the video doesn't always pause. And the fact that it was a strong enough glitch to pause the video is weird. But um I will continue and hit play
Go ahead.
and hope and knock on some wood. Keeps going smooth.
Operations pretty much tell you all that you need to know.
There was an ICE action on Canal Street. They said they were targeting undocumented immigrants who were, selling counterfeit bags, which on Canal Street is kind of, there's a long history of that, obviously. What do you do?
I think this is an example of what is unacceptable in this country. I think the first thing that you do is you close the door that Eric Adams opened to the NYPD doing civil immigration enforcement. He said that on national television. The second thing you do...
So you would not allow the New York Police Department to engage or to cooperate with ICE or DHS?
Not in civil immigration enforcement. We have sanctuary city laws where we've been very, very clear that for a set of serious crimes, there is coordination with the federal administration. But anything beyond that, I think 172 crimes that are listed, that is something for the NYPD to focus on purely right here.
You got people in the country illegally and then selling fake goods, which again is illegal. And Anderson Cooper pretends as if, it's a tradition in New York City. No, it's crime. It's two layers of crime. And Mamdani's view is, just let it happen. And that seems to be his view with all kinds of crimes. He wants no cash bail. He wants open drug markets and human trafficking on the streets because that's, of course, what the end result of these policies are. And so when you have increased chaos, when you have foreign gangs and illegal migrants running drug operations and human smuggling and prostitution operations, your streets end up looking like squalor. Then add the homelessness crisis that of course follows. You get what we're seeing already in New York City, but even worse. More and more people are going to flee. The tax base is going to GTFO. Get the F out. The words themselves when he presents them, it sounds all warm and fuzzy inside. He's going to create...
Go ahead.
So he talked about that Canal Street, right? But we played videos previous where the illegals came in from the riots and the looting that occurred against the stores. We saw the goods laying on the street. People
a lot of them were just thrown around.
Right. They were on blankets. You walked by and there was a goods from Macy's that was stolen. Perhaps, a pair of jeans or a purse. We saw one that was nothing but tools, hammers.
Yep.
All types of things that you would find at Home Depot were just laying on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So they were stolen goods to begin with. Then they were being sold, and who knows where the money was going. We saw it in the way of things from the drugstores, makeup, deodorants, all of that laying on the street or being sold out of a pickup truck or a van. So what was tradition, as Anderson Cooper wants to say, has escalated way beyond that tradition, and Zofran is saying that's okay.
No, it's not okay. And street peddlers are one thing. If they're peddling their jewelry, homemade clothing, food, whatever. Street peddlers have always been around. Resale of stolen products
Right.
and knockoff products. Absolutely unacceptable.
Yes, ma'am.
Used to be crime. Like people used to get arrested for selling knockoff Oakleys back in the 90s.
Uh-huh. And they had jail time for that.
Yes. It's retail fraud.
But it should be no
But it seems
surprise,
people have forgotten that.
they have violent criminals, right? That are processed and released within a couple hours. So is it any wonder that he's going to let all this other stuff occur?
Hmm.
I
It's
I don't know. It's
and once it starts, good luck stopping it. Venezuela right now is having not Venezuela, Argentina is struggling to come back. They're slowly weaning off of socialism over the next few years. They're going to be weaned off of socialism. You can't just come in and cut the cord and that's it. You have to wean off of it like a drug.
yep,
And that Millet guy who
yep,
took over Argentina and is
yep,
making drastic changes. Yeah, he is. Everybody supports him, but he also understands that you can't do it overnight,
right. And
and it's the baby steps. So when New York turns into this mess, it's going to take baby steps to fix it.
yeah, and it's going to take a long time to fix. I mean,
Yes.
Justin, what has occurred under the Biden administration and under Mayor
Yep.
Adams, uh, the city had already been decimated. They had, thousands of people flee to anywhere to get out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he made the statement later on where he doesn't believe anybody should be a billionaire. And we talked yesterday where you took a Bernie Sanders who was a socialist saying, I don't want to see any millionaires until what?
He became a millionaire.
Uh-huh.
Then he's against the billionaires and the
Right.
oligarchs.
Right. But it's okay.
Yeah.
He's a millionaire. So it
Yeah,
was,
it's so nice he has how many homes?
uh-huh.
And I live in a 900 square foot shoebox.
Hmm.
Yeah. Funny how that works. And I work harder than he does.
I would agree with that.
Oh my lord. It makes you really rethink the stupidity of the nation to vote for these people to make our laws.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With I'm starting to believe it's all intentional with the education system, the lack of civics, the lack of respect for the country, not
Hmm.
even being able to do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore, uh, recognizing what the 4th of July means. I mean, just a basic understanding of even economics. There's so much lacking. I mean, they've gotten away from why aren't they teaching cursive writing anymore?
Hmm. My niece has been learning calligraphy, so
Uh,
forms of cursive and stuff, because of the art stuff she does.
right.
And her older brother was one of the last ones that they did the basic run through on it. They didn't really push it. But when I was in school, anything handwritten had to be in cursive.
Hmm. So it's a one of the suggestions that to get away from cursive writing is that the founding documents are in cursive. Want anybody be able to read it?
Oh,
It
there's also typed versions of
right,
it, but again, to read the original one, there's always going to be someone who knows that lost art.
right.
Almost always. I mean, we're talking four or
Yeah,
5 centuries before that art will be completely lost.
right. But it's it's a interesting dynamic of what's happening. You know,
Yeah, but I can
it,
see why the communist dictator wannabes are pushing for this shit.
well, what happens
Yes.
is, as you mentioned, taking baby steps to get out of it. It's taking baby steps, I think, in so many areas that once it all comes together, it's going to be like a huge slap in the face, which will be the wake up call. Like, oh my God,
Yeah,
what did
well,
we do?
Yuri Bezmenov predicted this back in, what was it, the 60s?
60s, yeah. Yep.
And if you don't know who Yuri Bezmenov is, we could always take a day to
Oh,
go
yeah.
over his teachings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Because that is someone who warned this shit was going to happen.
yeah. It's a interesting time right now. And I think the next,
Yep.
uh, if a Democrat gets in, as if the Dems take over for the midterms or the next presidential election, I think you might as well just say we've gone to hell in a handbasket.
Not only are we going to hell in a handbasket, but someone decided to soak it in gasoline before it was sent.
There you go.
Or napalm. That's
There-
an option too.
right.
It's getting out of hand. And the fact that so many states already are promoting this shit really is scary. There are so many states already doing this shit. It bugs me.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We got about 5 minutes left on this video. So
Okay.
let's hit play. We'll get through a bit more. And then we'll jump into a couple articles we have.
Okay.
Going to create a socialist utopia for all the peoples. But it's not that simple. It never is. And pretty much everybody knows this, even Democrats know this. That's why they're already fighting his agenda, saying they're not going to back it. They're not going to allow him to increase taxes or increase spending on programs that the state cannot afford. That's essentially what Kathy Hochul was alluding to. And obviously top Democrats understand this as well. This is why they've been so reluctant to endorse him. Hakeem Jeffries has remained silent, has refused to endorse him for months.
Mamdani won a big victory. Have you endorsed him yet?
I have not. We had a conversation on Wednesday morning where I congratulated him on the campaign that he ran, a campaign that clearly was relentlessly focused on the high cost of living in New York City and the economy. He outworked, he out-communicated, and he out-organized the opposition, and that's clearly why he was successful.
So what's holding you back from endorsing him right now?
Well, we don't really know each other well. Our districts don't overlap. I have never had a substantive conversation with him.
And now, of course, his betting markets have Mamdani at 95% chance to win, while all of a sudden in comes Hakeem Jeffries at the last second with a little tepid endorsement. Yeah, I guess I'll endorse Mamdani. But while Hakeem has endorsed him, Chuck Schumer still hasn't.
You've been asked numerous times if you will endorse Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor. You always say you're going to continue to talk. There are two key questions here that you haven't answered. One is, will you ever endorse him? And two, what do you need from him to get your endorsement?
First of all, I know him. We've had a good relationship in the past, and we had a good meeting 2 weeks ago, a very long meeting with a lot of serious questions. And all I can tell you is I'm going to continue talking to him.
What's the holdup?
I got to continue talking to him, and that's what I'm going to do.
Is part of the calculus that if you endorse a Democratic socialist, you're worried it will be damaging to your party, maybe even your chances of winning back the Senate?
I'm going to continue talking to him. Dana, you can ask me again.
He's going to continue talking to him. You would think, with a young trailblazer like this, someone like Mamdani making all of this noise, creating all of this hype, and taking over New York City politics by storm, the entire Democrat establishment would have no issue jumping behind him. He's our next rising political star. But instead it's, I guess I'll endorse him. I'll endorse him, but I'm not endorsing his agenda. We're not increasing taxes. I'm still going to talk to him. We'll keep talking. It's obvious what's happening. They're working behind the scenes to hamstring him at every corner because they know the arithmetic. These tax the rich policies don't fund a socialist utopia. No, they fill U-Hauls headed straight to Palm Beach, and they're petrified of it. The billionaires, oh, the evil billionaires. The supposed evil billionaires fund all of these socialist pet projects. They're the ones paying the majority in taxes. They're the reason New York City has this massive city and state budget that Mamdani seems to take for granted. He seems to believe that, oh, it's New York, so no matter how much we attack businesses and productive people, people aren't going to have any choice but to prioritize doing business here. Yeah, that's not necessarily true. Greater cities have fallen, and frankly, in a lot of ways, New York City's already in a fallen state. It's been drifting and dragging, declining, and now that decline is likely to continue. And if Mamdani succeeds in implementing his agenda, well, that's probably exactly what's going to happen, a continued New York City decline. And that, I think, is fueling deeper panic in the Democrat headquarters, because it's not just Mamdani. The party is drifting towards Mamdani types, further and further left, a whole lot further than Bernie Sanders and his boomer socialist worldview. They are going full-on communist, because that's what grassroots leftism wants. That's what the activist base wants. They want maximalist communist ideology. And I know people are fighting like hell to stop it, especially conservatives. But what are you going to do, honestly? It's wasted effort, tweeting over and over that Mamdani's a terrorist. If anything, you just sully yourself, especially if you take the rhetoric to such a degree. But there's so many people, oh, we gotta stop him, we gotta stop him. We gotta work to endorse Cuomo. F Cuomo. You don't have the ability to stop what's coming. It's New York City. It's a leftist stronghold. And in a way, they have the right to elect who they want. And clearly, they're big time behind Mamdani. And so I think the best thing you could do at this point is just be at peace with it. Let the experiment run, because that's what this is. It's a socialist human experiment. The voters want it, the voters.
The problem I have with letting the experiment run is that it spreads like gangrene.
Yeah, it's just not going to be in New York City. That's the problem.
It's going to be a lot of places. Yep.
Yep. And if you take a look at Chuck Schumer's face, if that isn't a lying SOB, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, it's more than kind of scary. It's a lot scary.
I'm not thrilled with it.
It isn't an experiment that you get to say, oh, okay, this didn't work, so we're going to go back.
This is like the SARS-CoV experiment for the, what the fuck was it? A gain of function research.
Gain of function research, yep.
But worse.
Yep.
But worse.
Yeah, maybe Fauci has his hand in this and we don't know it.
Oh my God, this is tampering with things that are not meant to be. Yep. Utopias always end in dystopia.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, when will people realize history had it right?
Well, that's the problem. They're not reading the history. The history is not being taught again, right? We're not going back to these ideals of why they're bad are not being discussed in the classroom, even at higher education levels. But
okay, so you can teach a 5-year-old sex ed, but you can't teach a high schooler how socialism usually ends in a lead bullet as your health care or food.
Correct. You got that right.
They're stupid.
Right. Yeah, that's
our system's fucked.
Yep. All right, is there more to this?
Just him going on a little bit longer for like another minute.
Okay, go ahead, play that. I'm going to grab a quick drink, and I might have to get him out of the playpen. We'll see. Go ahead.
All righty.
The voters are spearheading it, and so you can't get in the way of democracy. Let them do what they gotta do. They're gonna run into a brick wall. History tells us that, math tells us that, common sense tells us that, and then, maybe show up to try to help pick up the pieces. It's just like what happened with Joe Biden. In that case, we really did work tirelessly to stop it. But in a lot of ways, it was kind of one of the best things that happened. They had their 4-year run, and that created the left-wing environment of failure that led to this great American awakening.
Yep, that's a great American awakening, except there's also a communist awakening in our nonsense, too. So, yes, folks,
What?
please be aware.
And we
If
know
your
what happened
state
with the
offers
Joe Biden
free,
experiment, right?
say that
Look
one
at.
more time.
I said we know what happened with the Joe Biden experiment.
Yeah, all the aides and the staff were writing the laws, not the president.
Well, that I think was the auto pen, but the fact of the millions and millions of illegals that he let in, saying that that was his plan all along, was to destroy pretty much America in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
Paraphrasing. Go look at some of his past videos if you don't believe us. But I think the Biden administration, and if Kamala would have got in, it would have been. I think the country would have been where New York was if she would have gotten in.
Yeah, oh yeah. Our country would have easily gone downhill. But the thing is America as a whole does not want communism. And this push to force it is why there's so much pushback. It's
Right.
why someone like Trump got elected. Is because these idiots are trying to rush it for some reason.
Well, there's also, I can't remember the exact name. It's similar to the stages of grief. It's the stages that a business goes through. So startup,
Hmm.
then you have the stages in between, and then you get to the mature stage, and that is where the United States has been for decades. We've been on
Hmm.
top of just about everything. The country has gotten older. Things do need to be replaced, overhauled in certain areas, but with that uh, comes like a death and dying almost at that point. You see companies come in and buy other companies. That company would close. That company could be passed on to a family member. And so, if you look at the country as a whole, we have, as young as we are as a country, we have far outpaced the world. But we're now
Hmm.
at a place where, because we are so, we have reached this maturity level in business, in government, we have people wanting to overthrow us, such as China.
Yeah.
Or now we got the Middle East or Iran or Russia. Everybody wants to be the next US. And so you've seen
Hmm.
coordinated efforts by these socialist countries to get together to create a bloc against the United States. And ultimately, that's how this socialism is, again, with everything else that we've talked about, is slowly seeping into the country.
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about, go look at our previous videos that we've done, and we'll have some other things in the future of cities being taken over by the Muslim community, which, again, from the religious standpoint, there are no issues with. However, there is potential in some of the cities, they want to see Sharia law brought in, and with them being able to get voted into city councils, school boards, we're starting to see some radical changes happen. So, is it that we're going to be eaten from the inside out versus the outside in? Is that what is happening? Is that what
I
is
believe
happening to the
so.
major cities, and now New York is going to fall?
It seems to be the case.
And then how do you change that? So back in Argentina, with the switch around and how quickly things have happened, he's following the pattern that Trump has put forward. He's definitely MAGA. You know, he believes in Trump, and we actually are funding or giving them a certain amount of money to help aid the country. When he was just up here, I believe, a couple weeks ago, if I recall correctly, and Trump is authorizing monies to go down to help them. And so you can see a reversal in a country, but as you said, Crazy B, it's going to take, what, several years, you think, for that to change around?
Oh, yeah. Easily.
All right, what do you got up next?
Next we have this X post
Okay.
of the doofus putting out his campaign stuff in what language was it? Hold on. Let me get it pulled
Was
up.
that in Arabic? I don't want to guess because he has spoken several languages. Yes,
Arabic.
Arabic. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so Mamdani is now airing ads in Arabic. The fact that he is even airing ads in Arabic is a sign of a failed city. Pray for New York. This comes from a 9/11 post called Breaking 911. Do you want to play? I don't know. That's a short
I
one.
can hit play.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only 37 seconds.
Okay. Let's hear him.
كعمدة رح جمد الإيجارات لأكثر من 2,000,000 شخص وخلي الباصات سريعة ومجانا وأضمن رعاية الأطفال شاملة لكل العائلات. ويمكن ما فيني أقنع عمك إنه الكنافة النابلسية بستانواي أطيب من نيوجيرسي، بس بوعدكم إني رح أشتغل بكل جهدي لأسهل عليكم بفتح مشاريعكم الصغيرة وتدفعوا إيجاركم وتبنوا مستقبلكم في مدينة نيويورك. التصويت المبكر مفتوح الآن حتى 2 نوفمبر ويوم الانتخابات يوم 4 نوفمبر. أنا منكم وإليكم سنراكم.
That was a good one. Yeah. That was a good one. Yes.
سنراكم. كعمدة رح جمد الإيجارات لأكثر من 2,000,000 شخص.
Yeah, I have issues with this.
Yeah, so on the early voting, as of yesterday, when we did the early pre-record, 480,000 people had voted. That was one of the largest turnouts for a mayor's race that they've ever had. And it's not looking good. That's all I could say.
The one thing I really want to know after all is said and done, how many of these ballots that are being voted with are from legal, actual New York citizens?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do an audit or not. I don't know if you can call for one. Cuomo perhaps could challenge it, but the average citizen like you and I could say, look, we want those ballots checked and
And
go
they'll
back.
just laugh at us.
Yeah, so we don't take up a lot of time regarding the ballot situation. Go and listen to yesterday's video where we go into detail about the important dates that were scheduled for New York and exactly what it meant. The early voting is outrageous. There's no way you can't tell me that fraud was not committed.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's a mess. Up next we have.
I gotta interject real quick. So the dog got up and is in Eric's chair, and Jekyll is laying like a dog right next to the playpen while the baby's in there. This has never happened before, folks. This is a first. I'm going to try to get a picture of it where the cat is looking into the. Normally, it's a human looking at the cat in a cage, and here the cat is looking at a human in a cage. He's like, what the heck is going on in there? So our third co-host has been relatively good. Well, no, he's been excellent this morning. Normally, he's been giving us a run for our money, but I can't complain.
I love it when kitties and puppies protect the babies and stuff like that.
He's like, what the heck is in there? All right, what do you go first next, Crazy B?
The article right here.
Okay.
Mamdani's God Squad, the clerics, activists, and political operatives who have his back.
Yeah, this is I think this is a longer video. If you want to hit play to start that off, Crazy B.
Okay.
Here in New York City, we'll be picking between a socialist and a Democrat and a Republican. And in New Jersey, Republicans are fighting to flip the governor's seat red. It's been done before. While in Virginia, they fight to keep it away from Democrats.
We love the way you say election.
Election. Yeah, you are so jealous.
America's new newsroom co-host Bill Himmer joins us now to break it.
Morning, guys. Great show, great audience. I love all of it. Everybody good today? Bit of a delayed response here. I always think that elections, regardless of the outcome, tell a very interesting story for what people are thinking, what people are feeling.
A report card.
Yeah, it's like the after-election report is just as interesting as the reporting leading up to it. But I think next Tuesday is going to be fascinating.
Oops, shit. Sorry, my finger.
No, that's okay. You can scroll down there, Crazy B. We can keep going on. They can go back and look at that if
Here
they
in New
want.
York City, we'll be picking between.
We can play the article.
Go ahead.
Instead of having to read it.
Mamdani's God Squad, the clerics, activists, and political operatives who have his back. When New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani stepped to the microphone outside the Islamic Cultural Center of the Bronx last week near Yankee Stadium, his voice broke as he spoke about the memory of my aunt who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe. Behind him, a Yemeni-American educator in sunglasses named Debbie Almontasser nodded. Almost 2 decades ago, in 2007, she was forced to resign as principal of a city school after defending a T-shirt with the slogan Intifada NYC. City officials viewed it as a call to violence. She said it was benign. Her case became a rallying cry from Muslim American activists who cast her as a victim of Islamophobia. Now, Almontasser was back, this time as a senior advisor to MJAJ Action and a board member of Yemeni American Merchants Association Action, 2 of 110 political nonprofits, community groups, and political action committees backing Mamdani as he alleges Islamophobia against him. Recently, when critics questioned Mamdani's ties to hardline Brooklyn Imam Siraj Wahhaj, she sprang to action, helping to organize a protest to defend Wahhaj. That rapid, coordinated response captured the modus operandi of a network of political operatives and clerics intertwined with the shared mission of catapulting Mamdani into the mayor's office. Mamdani's background diverges from many of his co-religionists. In an interview, he said he is a Khoja Shia Muslim, part of a small, relatively liberal sect with roots in India. Many of his New York area allies are religiously strict Sunni Muslims who practice more conservative interpretations of the faith. But they find common ground in politics. It's a sophisticated fusion of religion, politics, and identity, said Mansour Al-Hajj, a Washington-based researcher on Muslim political movements and extremism. The same networks that once focused on community services are now mobilizing voters and producing candidates. This is how political Islam adapts inside democracy. Mamdani's God Squad includes about a few dozen key players who specialize in painting any critique as an attack on their faith, accusing critics of Islamophobia, even as many of them have engaged in strident rhetoric against the U.S., Israel, and capitalism. The original Imam, America is filthy and sick. Mamdani set off a firestorm on October 7th when he walked into Masjid at-Taqwa in Brooklyn and later posted a photo of himself beaming beside the mosque's imam, or prayer leader, Siraj Wahhaj. The imam's checkered past goes back decades. In a 1992 talk, he said American Muslims should elect an emir rather than choose between George Bush and Bill Clinton. Soon after, he served as a character witness in the trial of Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman, the so-called blind sheikh, convicted for plotting the 1993 World Trade Center bombing that killed 6 people. You know what this country is. Wahhaj said in 1995, "It's a garbage can. Filthy and sick." In 2018, 3 of Wahhaj's children were arrested after authorities found 11 malnourished children in a New Mexico compound tied to his family. A grandchild had died in what authorities described as an attempted exorcism. He told local news reporters, "Whatever they did wrong, it's not acceptable to us." The the youth imam, resist by any means necessary. In New York, the Muslim American Society recently signed onto a letter to challenge unmistakably Islamophobic, anti-black, and xenophobic attacks on Mamdani. Signatories included CARE National, the Council on American Islamic Relations New York Chapter, Islamic Circle of North America's New York Chapter, the Islamic Center of 5 Towns, Muslim American Society of New York, Muslim Community Network, Rockaway Islamic Center, and a Syosset Muslim community. Members of the Muslim American Society have long been quick to accuse others of Islamophobia, even as they unabashedly call for violence against their perceived enemies. At an Eid celebration earlier this year, a cleric at the Muslim American Society cast Muslims as victims worldwide. Muhammad Badawi, youth director at the Muslim American Society, declared the local community's joy would only be complete when Muslims are victorious worldwide, adding they would celebrate after the destruction of the illegitimate Zionist occupiers, Israel. He regularly organizes
I gotta pause right there. It says straight out, their goal is to get rid of any religion except Muslim. They literally just spelled it straight out. And yet people are still assuming it's completely an innocent thing. I don't understand why the red flags and the fear are not going off. It makes no sense. It's like, oh, there's a really nice poisonous snake, but I bet if I'm kind to it, it will be kind to me. I don't know. Why are people pushing something that is calling for the end of them? I just don't get it. Like, you are promoting your own demise. People are not the brightest.
Anti-Israel protests in a campaign against injustice and oppression. At one protest, Badawi urged youth to fight back against injustices by any means necessary. Abdullah Akil, a charismatic organizer with the Muslim American Society Youth Center, leads many protests under the banner of Within Our Lifetime, with founder Nurdin Kiswani. Mamdani joined them before his run for mayor. Akil calls the street protests sacred activism, a mix of faith and resistance that will free Palestine. Since the October 7, 2023, Hamas attack on Israel, the Muslim American Society Youth Center has organized prayer protests on Wall Street outside the New York Stock Exchange, street protests for Nakba Day, calling the day Israel was created a catastrophe, and youth-led demonstrations outside BlackRock. Akil turned a subway car into a protest zone with chants. Globalize the Intifada. There is only one solution: Intifada revolution. When the New York Police Department arrested Akil and other activists, the Council on American Islamic Relations New York chapter sent out a press release demanding their release. On October 7th protests this year against Israel, Akil shouted, "We did not act enough. We will show up stronger than we did the first October 7th." In response to criticism, he posted a message on social media, doubling down and saying we didn't act enough to stop a full-blown genocide against Palestinians sick is incitement, saying we need to be louder and protest more and continue to speak up for Gaza sick is a crime. Zionist tears once again for the most documented genocide in modern history. For decades, Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, has served as an aggressive and litigious watchdog for a host of Muslim figures and causes, often at the forefront of fighting legitimate bigotry. But CARE has also courted controversy.
Yes. Why don't we stop with this one as it just continues on about the...
Basically repeating itself?
Correct. And so it's basically saying that we are anti-Muslim.
Yeah, for a good reason,
right,
but
when
yeah.
in actuality, Christians throughout the world are being persecuted. And as you mentioned...
Executed.
Right. As you mentioned, the goal of Islam is to take over the entire world. And we've played videos where leaders, as well as an ordinary citizen, says, just wait, we will, with our birth rate, we will outpace and just take over. So we've seen that in other cities throughout the country. And, you know, you have suggested that perhaps this could turn into a religious war. Yes, no?
It's already a religious war.
Oh,
The way the Muslims are going after the Jewish community, it's
right.
already a religious war.
You know, how is he going to represent? Because in reality, you cannot possibly represent all areas saying, you know, I'm going to treat the Jews, the Muslims, the black, the Hispanics, the whites, the whatever, all the same. It doesn't happen that way. It
No.
just doesn't. But he's out and about.
Especially when he's pushing such radicalness. And again, even if this goes through, Muslim becomes a predominant religion or whatever, it's only a matter of time before the government steps in and says, no religions at all. The government is your religion.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty messed up what is in the near future.
All right. What do you got next?
Come on. Video from Fox News.
Okay.
Mamdani could be the next mayor because of politics of envy. So let's back that to the beginning and hit play. Oh, and unmute. The government ain't gonna save us. Oh, yes, you are. No, you're not. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Thank you, Blue Rose. Um, Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know I wasn't sharing it. D, are you still there? Oh, we lost D in this process. Let me hit play. I am so sorry.
Well, they're all socialists now. Democrats getting on board the Zohran Mamdani train. The smiling socialist making a final push before next week's election. And he says the government will save us all.
No New Yorker should ever be priced out of anything they need to survive. And we believed then, we believe today, we will believe tomorrow that it is government's job to deliver that dignity. Dignity, my friends, is another way of saying freedom.
Zoran's cheer squad was right next to him. Bernie Sanders hyping up free everything, and AOC saying, trust me, guys, we're not crazy.
We are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish.
Dee, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That was weird.
Uh-huh.
It's showing your cameras on. Well, it's not going to show on the live stream because of the way I have it set up, but wasn't sure if you noticed.
I had it shut off. I don't know what is going on. I'll be back again, I guess.
No, you don't got to worry because it's not showing on the live stream. Or that. Okay. All right, can you hear me, Dee?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to hit play. Evidently, I hadn't even shared the tab, so everybody missed it up until just a few seconds ago. Come on, play.
Ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
New York must have a mayor who represents the working families of this city, not the billionaire class.
And other Democrats are starting to kiss the socialist ring. Hakeem Jeffries hopping on the bandwagon last minute. And Kathy Hochul was met with tax the rich chants at Mamdani's rally. Democratic whisperer Bill Maher says this election will define where the party goes.
This is not just New York that's on the ballot. I think the whole Democratic Party in the country is on the ballot. And the whole country will be looking at this race to see which way are the Democrats going to go. No, Andrew Cuomo may not be that exciting and that inspirational, but, you know, for a party that said we want to get back to normal, he's kind of normal.
All right, Dana, what is your response to the Mamdani rally?
Where do I begin? Okay, so a couple things. Is one, you notice that Mamdani, either he feels very comfortable in that crowd or he feels like he's got a lock on the election because his tone was back to what his usual is. For a while now, I've been feeling like this guy is so empty, he can't really go further than one step into a question or an answer to a question because he doesn't actually know the answer. That crowd that they had, is there any other group of trio of Democrats that could pull together a crowd like this? And I have a feeling that these three will take it on the road, and their first stops will be South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Another thing is that AOC was playing all the Kamala hits, right? We had fascists, extremists, Jim Crow. They've got a well-oiled machine, and if you think about who's competing right now for the elections next week, Mamdani has Bernie and AOC in this crowd. And Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger couldn't pull a crowd like that. They are getting Obama to come out for them. They had to figure out that because they are not exciting the base, and the base is where it's at right now. One other thing. In this
I want to pause for a second.
Mamdani goes out.
They're not exciting the base because it's all fake. Like, there can't be. It seems like everyone there is either paid to be there or was, encouraged to be there. It didn't, like, most of them were sitting, not really what you would see like at a Trump rally. Dee, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I wasn't sure. Wasn't sure if you wanted to chime in or add anything to it. Okay. So, I don't know. The crowd seems forced or fake. Like, they just hired a bunch of people. And good morning, Cannabis.
Hi, Cannabis. Thanks for joining.
goes after Cuomo for living in an $8,000 a month apartment. And now, okay, Cuomo's an adult. He has made money. He chooses to spend his money on the shelter that of his choice, while Mamdani and his wife he was born wealthy. She's even wealthier, and they choose to live in a rent-stabilized apartment.
Yeah.
This morning, I talked about how this race in New York matters to the country because I'm promised this is coming to a city near you. I talked about the Minneapolis mayor's race and then the Seattle mayor's race. I learned about this woman that's running out there as a progressive Mamdani type of person. Her name's Katie Wood, grew up upper middle class here in New York, takes the Greyhound bus all around the country. Where do I want to live? Okay, this is where I want to live. She chooses to live with her husband in a 600 square foot rental with their baby. That's her choice. And she goes after the diverse immigrant who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and worked his butt off and chose to buy a home at $1.4 million in a nice neighborhood in Seattle. And that guy is sitting there going, how can I be behind in this race? Wasn't I the one that you guys were championing? No, the new champions of the Democratic Party are the progressive left.
So, Jesse, it's always the Democrat elite who usher in the communist socialist ideology that they think is going to help everybody, but really it's about controlling the population. And they have a whole stable of these candidates ready to go. The Democratic Socialists of America are very organized. They have a lot of funding, and they're ready for this test case to be over so they can then go out and put these candidates in Democratic primaries all over the country to finally take over the party and then, of course, to take over the larger aspect of politics.
Yeah, so communism's here because liberalism failed. The liberals poured millions of people into New York City. And what did that do? Make everything expensive. It drives up rent. It drives up food. It drives up insurance. No wonder everything's so expensive. They imported the third world here. So then they loan shark these kids into degrees of like women's studies, so they can't even afford a small, expensive apartment to begin with. And so communists come in and they say, the government is going to fix the problem that the government created. Mm-hmm. And then he says, government handouts are freedom and dignity. Now, you've heard that from some of the worst tyrants in world history, but the people who went to college never took Econ 101, never took history, so they don't even know. They're so oblivious to this guy is going to come in and do this. And I say, part of me says, you guys kind of deserve
it. He and I can agree. They actually kind of deserve it.
Yep.
At this point. Because, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yep. I have a feeling this video is just going to keep kind of repeating the same thing. I mean, we're almost 5 minutes into 10, and I'm not really hearing anything too new.
Okay.
Do we want to jump to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Ground news.
Oh, that just is, that's what we already know from the previous videos, that Hochul ends up endorsing him. And as we stated previously, she's not making any commitments one way or another as to how she's going to fund New York City for his pet projects. She stated that she is her own person and she'll make the decisions based on her perceived needs of New York as well as New York City, but she said she endorses them, but she's not behind everything that he says. And again, where's the disconnect from the people paying attention to her words?
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
It's like, I don't know. Are they like, do they just assume that these rich people with nothing better to do but create laws have their best interest in mind, and that they know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck?
I don't know. As was stated in the previous video, Zofran and his wife come from a wealthy background to begin with. He never struggled.
Not once.
Yeah, not one time has he ever struggled.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just a summation there. What do you have up next? I know we've got about a half an hour to finish up, so I don't know how much we have left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs and 2 videos.
Okay, why don't
Or
we
3 videos.
take
I
a look at the
apologize.
videos and we could do the tabs, because there's a couple of the videos I would like to get through.
All right. The next video I have up is the one that you sent me from Facebook.
Okay.
This one, 2 minutes long, 2023. What Mamdani had to say. Let me hit play.
For anyone to care about these issues, we have to make them hyperlocal. We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF.
Yes, Zohran Mamdani did say that. Our CBS News confirmed team just verified this video. He made these remarks on August 4th, 2023, about 2 years ago at the Democratic Socialist Convention in Chicago, Illinois.
We're in a country where those connections abound, especially in New York City. You have so many opportunities to make clear the ways in which that struggle over there is tied to capital's interest over here.
This type of speech is why a lot of New Yorkers are really uncomfortable with what they believe to be anti-Semitic rhetoric coming from Mamdani. Allegations of anti-Semitism have plagued his campaign in recent months, and this is yet another example of explosive rhetoric. I was just with Jon Stewart earlier today. He was at a ceremony honoring first responders. He had Mamdani on his show last night, and it was all very friendly. He's very supportive of Mamdani, and I asked him about this specific video, and I read it back to him. We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. John literally visibly took a step back. He was surprised, and he said, well, you know, people say a lot of things, so he didn't really want to get into it. And a lot of Jewish New Yorkers feel unsafe when they think about him stepping into the role of mayor of this city. Other controversial remarks he's made: he called for defunding the police back in 2020 multiple times. He's since walked that back. We've reached out to the Mamdani campaign. They have not responded to our request for comment. It will be interesting to see if this video, which is now circulating online, is going to affect the race.
So Mamdani had no fear of making such a comment out loud.
Absolutely not.
What the hell?
I know.
How does it even make sense?
It doesn't. And people were not paying attention. Again, New York City, please wake up. This is probably too much too late. We talked about this, whether or not even to do this episode, but we're hoping that even if it changes one person's vote, maybe it makes a difference, maybe it doesn't. We've been warning you.
We still gotta try.
Yeah, we've tried to tell you the seriousness of this. The other bad thing is they get to vote tomorrow up until 9 p.m. So when are we actually, I mean, in all probability, he's going to win. But even given that, at what point do we know who the clear winner it really is? With all these mail-in votings and the early voting, and will we know by 10 o'clock on Tuesday that he's the clear winner? Will there be a challenge? What's going to happen?
I have a feeling it's going to be a Wednesday or Thursday thing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of moving pieces to this.
Mm-hmm.
And I we talked in the previous video, again, please go back and listen. We talked in depth about this whole early voting situation, the mail-in ballots. Just please, let's make a federal holiday one day, the first Tuesday, or as it is in November, and be done with it. Either you make it that day in to vote, or unless you have a valid, legit reason to do mail-in ballots. But this whole early voting thing,
Uncalled for.
I mean, I don't understand, how many are legal, how many aren't. It'll be interesting to see. Wonder if we'll see videotapes of, ballots being picked up and carried
Ballot
away.
stuffing.
Yeah, We'll see.
Cannabis just said, sucks if you are in New York. Yes,
Uh-huh.
it does.
Yep.
And quite a few people have gotten the hell out of there recently.
Right. And not only,
And
but if New York falls, I
go
mean,
ahead.
I was going to say, if New York City falls, that we talked about the country, but look at what it's going to do to the state as well. I mean,
and it's going to expand.
Correct. And so the billionaires or the millionaires that are in New York City now, not only are they going to leave and take their money with them from the city, but they're going to take the tax revenues from the state as well. So Kathy Hochul won't be able to fund state projects, let alone local cities. And think about the trickle down into the little towns and all the things that we take for granted. The roads being paved, new bridges being built or rehabbed. All of this is going to be affected, and people are not taking this all under consideration. All right, what do you got
People
next?
have given up their right to have a control and a say over things for the illusion of easier life.
Right.
So, yeah.
The free stuff, yeah.
Yep. Up next is actually a person who did leave New York's video.
Mom, should breathing be a human right UN vote?
Stop. Not right now, buddy. Okay. Let's take a listen to what Lou Valentino over on LV Nation.
Cringe.
Give him a follow. And let's see what he's got to add on to this.
I am voting Mamdani.
And why?
Because he's the most obvious choice.
What makes him an obvious choice for you?
Like, we could either vote in one guy, and he's gonna give everybody free houses, free rent, and he's gonna give everybody a Lamborghini, or we could vote in somebody who's gonna burn down the city. That's why.
When did Mamdani say he's giving everyone a free house and a Lamborghini?
I think she might be thinking of Oprah.
Okay. Just making sure I got it right.
That's why I'm voting Mamdani, because I'm voting for the guy who gave me the Lamborghini.
Yeah, so you think Mamdani's like just gonna give you guys everything?
Not everything. I'm saying it's the most obvious choice.
What do you think is gonna happen with government-run grocery stores and free buses? Do you think that sounds like a good idea?
That does sound like a good idea.
And freezing the rent?
That does sound like a good idea.
What if they have to freeze the rent to the point where eventually then the landlord's not able to come in and fix the washer and make a profit on his own lease?
State and local elections coming up Tuesday, we asked the president about the highly anticipated mayoral.
Say that again?
That's one of the stupidest people I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea, but I know nothing about it.
And I know nothing about the consequences of doing this. 1980s Russia. All those buildings still stand. Maybe in metaverse or possibly off their medications. That is so true. All of New York got off their psych meds to vote for Zofran. Oh.
No, they did not. You see, he voted himself into office because that's
Oh.
legal now.
It's legal to vote yourself into office. Okay. My
Can I
son's.
vote myself into office?
No. Anyways.
But what about all the good I could do? Raising taxes,
You sound like Zofran.
putting the homeless people into camps to work the mines.
No. We're going to go back to what we were doing. Thank you for your input. No.
The children yearn for the mines, Mother. I must give them what they want.
Stop. All right, play.
Mayoral race that includes former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani, 34-year-old Democratic socialist. He's the
communist, not socialist, communist. He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him.
Before I get to this topic, Trump said that Zohran Mamdani is not a socialist, that he is a communist, and we should be very worried about what he has up his sleeve, as he looks like he may be winning. But there have been some breaking news, as recent polls have him as a very favorable character to win. There have been some hiccups on the fact that this can all come crashing down just a day prior to the elections.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo, running as an independent, predicts historic voter turnout will help him flip the race. So he's gotten a wave of late endorsements from figures like Michael Bloomberg and former Governor David Paterson. Cuomo is warning voters that Mamdani is untested and that the stakes are too high.
He is a socialist. And socialism will not work in New York City. New York City has no future as a socialist city. Socialism hasn't worked anywhere on the globe.
Meanwhile,
Sadly, I have to agree with Cuomo on that one. He's like the only Democrat to understand that.
Is that a Green Beret?
No.
What I don't understand. What I don't
Go ahead.
understand is why such people are giving such late endorsements.
They are probably having their arms twisted or blackmailed, maybe.
Perhaps.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense why anyone would endorse something that's going to destroy their city.
Meanwhile, Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa is vowing to stay in the race, telling Fox this week, quote, "The billionaires, the influencers, the insiders have been wrong every step of the way." And he added that the race is going to come down to one person, one vote. Jonathan, there have been 7 days of early voting so far here in the Big Apple.
7 days.
And already nearly 500,000 ballots have been cast, according to the New York City Board of Elections. And get this, that total surpasses the 384,000 ballots cast during the June Democratic primary. So it appears people are very eager to have their voice heard with this election.
In a few minutes. But comment down below, is he a socialist or is he a communist? Very interesting conversation. But something happened here, and I got to show you, because the governor of New York City, of New York, right? Speaking of New York City, something's happening here with Zohran Mamdani and the Democrats. The Democratic Party is split in like 3 right now. There is a Democrat civil war happening between socialist progressives and people who, again, are representing themselves as Democrats but aren't really Democrats. They're just super blown socialists trying to use the platform, and actual Democrats who, again, have been Democrat their whole lives. Here's why I bring this up. So, holy-ish, I don't know if a lot of people missed it, but Governor Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, admitted that Mamdani needs her help to raise taxes on the rich to fund his communist project, but even she isn't really on board. Only 1.5 of the rich cover about a third of New York's budget. 1.5% of the rich cover a third of New York's budget. If they leave, then pretty much the state is done. Mamdani has been selling lies from the start, and now it's all out in the open. He's not really, basically, in this video, again, he's just making a whole bunch of empty promises? Are people actually going to get what they voted for? What happens when the rich leave? What happens to the jobs? What happens then? Like, what's really going to happen to New York City? Is it all going to be funded by the government? But who is funding the government? You're talking about taxpayers funding the government. So our taxpayers, people who pay taxes, how high are taxes going to go for the people who are making just 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, right? So here we go.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about out-migration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle-class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
A civil war. That's what it is. You see, Zohran Mamdani wants to tax those people even more. They're holding a third. And as she said, there's only so much she can do. But when he steps in there, he will start to make these moves, and he will start to try, at least, to, again, do as he says he wants to do. Make buses free, get rid of ICE. I guess he wants to.
Okay, here's a good question. Let's say he doesn't get his way as mayor. Who wants to bet he tries to go for governor next?
Of course he will. Or if
he does not get his way,
office, he could run for senator. I mean, he could even legit run for Congress if he wanted. The House of Representatives. I mean, if he wins, kind of, he can be on a path like a Newsom did, kind of thing. And look at how Newsom destroyed California.
Yeah. And that's what's scary. He could end up destroying the whole state of New York. I don't get my way as a mayor. Fine. I'm going to move my way up. But again, when we look at his record in the assembly, oh yeah, he had all these grand ideas, but he never put them on paper and never put them up for a vote.
He missed 86% of the votes.
So what business does he have going higher in politics? He's becoming a Kamala Harris.
Exactly.
He's failing up the ladder, folks.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, literally failing up the ladder. Okay. I have, this is just something to think about for future reference. Is he going to become the Kamala Harris who fails up the ladder?
I say most definitely.
Okay.
He wants to also defund the police. He wants to have one of his biggest plans that have been very controversial, because you got to think, right? Growing up in New York City, as somebody that actually grew up in New York City, we didn't have a good relationship with cops. A lot of the cops that we saw weren't from our neighborhoods. There was a lot of people policing our neighborhoods that were not really familiar with the culture that they were pretty much involved in. They weren't really familiar with what was going on. But now, when you look at the NYPD, it looks like me. It looks like a whole bunch of people. It's black, white. It's everything that New York City pretty much is. No knock on or whoever was policing neighborhoods before, but it has changed. People want to change the system. They became a part of the system, and they are trying to help shape it. What he wants to do is, when local things happen, when people get violent, and they get violent multiple times, he wants to have like a social worker come in and help those people, right? Instead of using prison. So there's a lot of things that he wants to do. All right. When it comes to the budgeting, when it comes to New York City, when it comes to New York as the whole state, 1.5 controlled third of the budget. So there is a civil war happening right now between what is Zohran Mamdani and the governor right? And there was an important video that I wanted to show you guys. I showed you guys a video before of DSA, right? Democratic Socialists of America. And they're a whole bunch of people who, again, believe in socialism. Now, how many people do you know have literally escaped the socialist or communist Cuba, Venezuela? There's a lot of different places around the world that have, especially South America, Central America, that have at least been programmed in this way. That's why a lot of people would flee. A lot of people would try to come to the United States of America knowing that it's a capitalist nation, is a free nation with a constitution that to me is very gifted. To me, the United States is the best, right? But there's a lot of people who, again, are trying to vote for this guy because they want to implement a new system, the same system that hasn't worked in previous places, that again has failed. But it's, to me, it's very crazy, it's wild. But I did run into this video. I thought it was very important. It was dropped yesterday, almost 2 million views. It's from John Stossel. Shout out to him. He says, my home city, New York, is likely going to elect a socialist mayor Tuesday. I don't usually report on local politics, but I make an exception for Zoran Mamdani because people believe his socialist dreams. People believe these dreams that, again, his own governor doesn't even believe. Let's take a listen. I thought this is very, very, very interesting.
I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City.
Zoran Mamdani will probably be my next mayor. He's popular.
Winning more primary votes than any mayoral candidate in New York City history.
People like him because he's good looking.
Is this like the Biden got 81 million votes because they spiked the votes?
Yeah. All of a sudden it hits me that he's kind of like came in like Obama did, right? The smooth, not quite as smooth, but the sweet talker. Things are going to change in the country, and you had a large portion of the population voting for Obama not once but twice because they believed in his rhetoric.
Yeah.
And so Mamdani and Obama ended up endorsing him, by the way. Obama, he's very similar, I think, to an Obama when I look back at how Obama campaigned, how he ran his race. Kind of there's some crossover in a way, and Obama did congratulate him on the way he ran the race. So perhaps Obama helped him, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, there is that possibility.
Just saying. But again, you would think that Obama, Bernie Sanders, all of the billionaires and the people that this is going to affect, you would think that they would have put a stop to it versus supporting it because it will directly affect them. So that makes sense. If they think just because they're not in New York City anymore and they're escaping this, and as we suggested, there will ultimately be a spread to other cities, it will affect them. It's
And
a
that is
scary proposition.
again, we got to head this voting stuff off before when the next candidate shows up in the next city. People have to say no despite the temptation of free things.
Right.
It's like the free cheese in the mousetrap.
Right.
You're just going to get caught.
No, Crazy B, I know we have only till 12 o'clock. There's a breaking news video that just came out.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say, do you want me to pull that up?
Yeah. And we would like everybody, LV Nation is a friend of the channel. As you know, we've played Lou several times. We support all of his efforts. Please watch his video. Towards the end, Lou talks about, he is a native New Yorker, and he left New York to move to Texas to get away from everything that we're talking about. Lou grew up in a poorer part of the inner city and made his way through poverty up through where the ranks he is today. But he will tell you he loves the city. New York City's his home. But given everything that happened, he had to get out.
And baby JJ agrees.
Uh-huh. So please go and watch his video. It'll be in the description below.
And while we have a quick moment, I want to say hi to Vanilla Pie who jumped in.
Hey, Vanilla, good to see you. All right. So, yeah, I didn't, if you want to skim through his intro, Crazy Bee, to get to where he is, I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, so we may want to stop. But this has to do with fraud, additional fraud that's been perpetrated.
Okay. What I can do is play it on like 1 1/4 speed.
Okay, that's cool.
And let's see how we can get through this. I know it's 15 minutes. We're probably going to run a little late, but
yeah, or we can
it's important.
Yeah, we can skip through. I didn't get to hear all of it, and I didn't want to waste time trying to go research everything. We can have more available tomorrow evening about this issue, but at least let's get the first couple minutes out of what the accusation is, and then we can kind of go from there.
Sounds like a plan. I put subtitles up, the closed captioning things, just in case we need them.
If I told you that the frontrunner to become mayor of America's largest city has just been exposed as nothing but a complete and total fraud, a manufactured fabrication by one of the largest dark money operations in modern political history. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a documented, diabolical, systematic scheme that aims to reshape American democracy forever. And if you skim to the very end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it's all blowing up in their face. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age that you're making happen all over the world. So if you want a front row seat on how you are changing the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. New York City stands at a crossroads with literally just hours until polls close. The race has dramatically tightened. A new Atlas Intel poll, one of the most accurate pollsters of 2024, finds Zohran Mamdani leading with 41%, former Governor Andrew Cuomo nipping at his heels with 34%, and Republican Curtis Sliwa polling at 24%. But with the latest bombshell blowing up inside the Mamdani campaign, all bets are now off. The investigative outlet White Collar Fraud has uncovered yet another explosive scandal surrounding Mamdani. White-collar fraud investigator Sam Antars reportedly just filed 11 new whistleblower complaints with the IRS, all alleging that the Mamdani campaign has benefited from over $40 million that was funneled through 6 different tax-exempt organizations that all trace back to a single source. And that, of course, is who else?
I know we're limited on time, but this is interesting that just came from Cannabis. A British politician, Jeremy Corbyn, was hosting phone banks to get out to vote for socialist New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. So that is British politics interfering with American politics.
Yep.
And now we have a George Soros linked to 40 million to support him.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. Keep
Okay.
going.
I'm going to keep going because we're limited on time, but when I saw that chat message come up, oh boy.
The one and only George Soros. Now, the key here is that coordinated political activities that present themselves as grassroots movements that are completely independent of each other is a violation of federal tax law. According to the report, the coordination methods involved in this alleged money laundering resemble those commonly seen in sophisticated criminal enterprises involving multiple legitimate-looking entities that hide the true flow and purpose of the funds. The most damning evidence comes from the organization's own admissions. So the Working Families Party's November 2022 memo openly admits coordinating independent expenditures. So we're talking political activities that by law must be independent and cannot be coordinated. Now, what's so illuminating here is that Mamdani's campaign styled itself as a completely grassroots movement. It boasted of 75,000 volunteers knocking on over 430,000 doors. But this new report alleges they were not organic volunteers. They were over 1,000 bought and paid for operatives funded by the Soros-based coordinated network. And they were deliberately deployed to boost Mamdani's campaign image while presenting themselves to voters as independent grassroots support. Moreover, we're getting word that none of these operations appear in the Mamdani campaign finance reports. And as if things couldn't possibly get worse, there's the insult added to injury, and you're not going to like this. It involves the reported $52 million in government grants that were actually subsidizing the infrastructure of these organizations. In other words, once again, like we saw with USAID,
USAID again.
Of course we funded it. Yep, of course.
Wow. How could we have guessed?
What dumbasses are we? Should have guessed it, Crazy B. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball on this one. You know that?
But it's not surprising.
I know. Wow.
It's annoying and that's surprising at the same time. So, what the heck?
Yep.
All right. Let's hear what else they have to add to this.
Just a minute.
Soros emerges as a genius in using our tax dollars to subsidize his organizations, which means that you and I have basically been bankrolling this systematic coordination that's enabling this election manipulation. Now, of course, the Open Society Foundations deny these allegations, claiming the reports the reports are misleading. The numbers that they're using are inaccurate. They're stating that the grants were made years before the mayoral race even began. But this investigation is documenting that all of these supposed independent organizations all share executives. They all have integrated personnel arrangements. They literally share the same office space. They coordinate financial transfers. So all these claims to independence are obviously refuted by their...
Sounds a lot like how the mafia organizes things.
Almost as if it is.
All this organized money laundering crime sounds very familiar from the, 30s and 40s.
Yep.
History repeats itself. It is going into the 2030s, Mother.
Oh yeah, we're almost a century out. That's what's happening. History is repeating on the century mark.
Yep.
But this is very alarming, folks. Very alarming.
And you're going to vote him in. Well, the only possible solution to this is if this is confirmed, perhaps there are criminal proceedings that could be taken against them. I don't know.
Fingers crossed, but I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Will they actually do that? And now that it's in the, the 11th hour, everyone's scrambling. Is it going to make a difference?
And this is the thing. Why are we at the 11th hour? Why wasn't this stuff looked at before? Why were the, endorsements? I mean, where is a background check, right? If an HR I was hiring a CEO or whomever for a position, I'm conducting some type of background check. And in instances such as this, we talked about previously, congressmen, senators, the president, all of those people need to be looked at. Why isn't he? Why wasn't this found out earlier?
I don't know, but that's scary.
Right.
It is actually scary that this is last minute.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I don't know. I don't think we need to go any further. We'll have the description listed below for you. We'll continue to monitor this and try to bring you updated information. We'll be live tomorrow from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This video is also we're gonna try to drop it again at 3 p.m. For a replay. If you have not listened to yesterday's video, that is the start of the conversation on Stop Mamdani and Save New York City. So with that being said, Crazy Bee, we are just a little over the 12 o'clock mark, so we should be good.
We're just a smidge over.
Okay. So I will see everybody tomorrow then.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan.
All
I'm
right.
going to do my usual. Stay safe, stay sane, stay sober.
All right. And thank you for
Understand
joining
some
Rex
people
Sisters.
like
Go ahead.
understand some people like picking up a turd on the clean side.
Isn't that true?
Didn't know there was a clean side cannabis.
Yeah, I guess we
but
got to start looking for it, right? But everybody, thank you for joining Rex Sisters. We appreciate your support. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you're out on Rumble, please give us a follow and do all of the same. And we also have the Discord is available where the conversation can continue. And the baby says thank you, everybody, as well. And
he was a beautiful co-host today.
yes,
So well behaved.
Yes, he was very good. So it's getting to be nap. And that was his goodbye.
Alrighty, so y'all stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow night and later tonight when I re-upload this.
All right, later.
Later.